As we wrap up the first year of the podcast, Dave and I reflect on the tools we have in the tool bag to help service companies. We are truly grateful for those that have listened and subscribed, and we hope to continue to provide valuable content to you in 2021. Stay safe and healthy out there, and have a wonderful holiday with your family and friends. Enjoy the last episode of 2020 right now. Welcome back to the Pool Pro Podcast. This is Michelle and Dave, our co-host. Hey, Dave.
How you doing?
I really wanted to talk to Dave today because we're starting a lot of different podcast episodes on secondary sanitation. We did a fantastic podcast with Michael Geyer from Pure Vision Technologies that launched a week or so ago. This is early October. And we've had some questions and people commenting on it so far and actually contacting us, especially Dave, in regards to this particular topic. And I wanted, Dave, for you to be able to speak to service guys about changing their thought process and what they've always done in regards to water quality. Can you just speak to them about, maybe influence them a little bit about how you can change the thought process to really understand that there's a way to increase water quality for their customers?
Sure. What we're trying to do with a series of podcasts here, and it started back, we were talking with Roy Vore, Chip Blatchley. We've talked to people that have identified the problems we face in treating pool water, both from the chlorine, chloramine perspective, and the germs, viruses, bacteria, contaminants. Those are the things that we fight. Those are the challenges we face. And what I've been looking at for the past 30 years is that the way we normally treat a pool isn't working when people actually swim. When people have a pool party or in a commercial pool on a heavy use weekend, there's a lot of banter whether people should have a chlorine-free pool or not. But those pools on a Saturday afternoon are chlorine-free pools, but they're
right.
all free of any kind of sanitizing. And we're starting to really identify the risks that bathers are up against. And some of them are quite serious. And
right.
So in having a discussion about extreme water quality, ozone systems, and other things, we're trying to identify the tools that are in the tool bag that could be available that you can offer. And it doesn't have to be a $15,000 or $20,000 complete water treatment system, but there are tools in the bag that can improve water quality on a daily basis. And basically my philosophy and what I think is that the old school dose a whole week's worth of chemicals in one visit and then walk away and forget it needs to stop. There are tools available to help. That's not necessarily the best way to treat the pool.
Yeah.
If you're
what's an example of one of those, Dave? Give us an example. Is it chemical automation or what is it?
Automation is a great one. We talked with Terry Arco from HASA. They have a great product called the Liquidator. That's just basically a tank that you can add liquid chlorine to, and it actually separates the salts and impurities out of the chlorine so that you're not adding a lot of impurities to the pool with it. But that's a way of keeping a steady stream of chlorine going into the pool. It doesn't dose it, it doesn't measure it, but
right.
It's a way of spreading out the chlorine through a whole week rather than one large dose. So there's a lot of tools ranging from actually rather inexpensive all the way up to full-on extreme water quality systems.
Right.
And I think those things we need to start looking at that. We need to start looking at how we treat a pool. Too many guys right now are doing it based on what's convenient for them or what saves them money on chemicals. And that's why we're having discussions about high cyanuric acid and the problems it creates. That's why we're having a lot of these discussions and controversies over treating pool water. And it's really, I think, time that pool professionals started looking at it from a standpoint of how can I give my customer the best water to swim in, not how can I make things easy on myself. And I think that's something that customers really should, if we have any pool owners listening to this podcast at some point, I think they need to look themselves in the eye, and the decision that they make, whether on who they hire to service their pool, should be based on what does this person know? How qualified are they? Are they really the best person to protect my family from potential illness?
Right.
Do they know about drowning prevention strategies? Will they be a partner in helping me get the most out of my pool and do it safely? And unfortunately, homeowners make decisions based on who's $5 or $10 a month cheaper.
Right.
And so it's really
you have to be able to really communicate your value. If if you're out there just trying to find the customers that want the cheapest price, those aren't necessarily the right customers for you. You want to be able to have a value proposition and be able to communicate that effectively, because that makes you stand out from the ones that are just trying to base everything on price, and the service companies where they're just trying to undercut you by $5 or $10 a month or whatever. Let those customers go. If those customers just want the cheapest price, then find the better value customers. Find the customers that you really want to work with, where you can be a partner with them, versus just trying to find as many customers as you can for the lowest price.
And I would like to see the industry do a better job of educating the consumer.
Me too.
On what's involved in servicing a pool, and why that's important, and why.
Agreed. Absolutely.
Because I've been a junkie of pool industry education my whole career, and I've seen both kinds of pool service people. Some that just want to go and do the same thing they've always done, and they know the basics of how to scrub tile, net, and vacuum a pool, and check chlorine and pH, and they go. And that's all they want to do. That's all they want to know.
Right.
I think the people that are really willing to spend their time becoming legal, licensed, insured, and those that are willing to educate themselves, all of these things cost money and take time out of your life, and you deserve to be rewarded for that. And the pool homeowner should really place a higher value on that than I think they do at this point.
I think it's important. I think as we move forward on this, I want to make sure, Dave, that you're talking. This is your expertise. This is the reason why, we're doing this podcast together, because you're really the expert in regards to those secondary sanitation systems and doing things maybe a little bit differently. And I'm trying to bring a different side of it, which is kind of the business side of it, and being able to run your business more effectively, and have tools to do that. So Dave's actually going to be talking about these specific things he just mentioned, the ways that you could potentially increase your water quality. And with episodes that are coming up, with the way that we manage the YouTube videos, and you can obviously see the different topic areas that'll be out there for you. You don't have to just watch it on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify or iTunes or any other podcast platform to be able to listen while you're driving. So you don't have to watch the YouTube video. You can hear and listen to what Dave has to say in regards to these sanitation systems, again, while you're driving. And that's his level of expertise. You could always message him if you have a specific question, or if there's something you want to hear about more. Message Dave or message myself and let us know, so that we can make sure to cover that topic for everyone. That's really the goal of this podcast.
I appreciate too the connections that you brought to the podcast, Michelle, on the business side of things. We've been able to have some really good discussions about business credit, about accounting practices, and
we've got a marketing guy coming up, our social media guy that's coming up. It's going to be exciting. Yeah.
And so once you get the education, once you make the commitment, we really want to help people that are willing to learn how to do it the right way, so that they actually make a living doing this.
And don't have to work 7 days a week killing themselves.
Well, and that's what's really painful to see. I see a lot on social media, these guys that um, it's their whole life. They have no life outside of servicing people's pools and just running from one stop to the next. And they're not going to last in the business, or if they do, they're going to be miserable the whole time. And that's not what this industry should be about. I mean, I've really enjoyed this career, being out in the sun, working with my hands, being physically active. It's a great career. And we need to recruit qualified people to replace the aging population of pool service techs. And this industry really needs professionals, educated people, managing pools moving forward, because the risks are getting greater. Diseases are becoming more prevalent and virulent. The equipment's getting more sophisticated, and we don't need pool janitors. We need service technicians. And
right.
So, that's something that we would really like to be able to point people to, ways to elevate themselves to where they can really enjoy making a good living in this industry.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for more information on that. Again, Dave's going to talk a lot about the different areas where you can improve your water quality. And we're going to definitely bring in more business topics to help you with your business and people that are out there to really assist you. We're going to do that for you coming in the future. And we're excited about it. And thanks for listening. For those of you that have been subscribing and listening to the podcast, we truly appreciate it. And we hope to bring you more valuable information to help you run your business.
And I've been getting more and more feedback from people, and I really appreciate that.
Me too.
If even if you want to punch us in the nose, or if you want to tell us we're doing a great job, we'll listen to both.
Yes, we will.
And we're really doing this. We already know this stuff. We're not doing it for us. We're doing it to help other people, and hopefully we're able to do that. But we
well, in that way, we are doing it for us, Dave, because we both have passion for being able to help others in this industry and really care about.
Don't scratch that, because that's true. I will tell you this: everybody that I've interviewed and talked to, even on the technical side of things, especially on the technical side of things, I've learned something. Every podcast I've taken away something. And it's like it's been a real privilege on this podcast. Almost every instance where I'm interviewing somebody who's way smarter than I am, and I always come away with something. It's great.
Absolutely.
A new voice in the industry, a resource for all, education for you. This is Pool Pro Podcast. Build relationships and share important news as we get ready for our next backyard adventure. Pool Pro Podcast. Backyard adventures are better together. Please take a moment to share, like, and review our content with all of those that would be interested.